Supercars shouldn't just sitting in the garage, you know?
Having a BMW, obviously he owns a M4. YouTube, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Eric from the Beemer Fam. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and drop a like on this video. Also head to shopbeemerfam.com if you like some of the Beemer Fam merch. But today, what y'all think about that view? We got a couple Italian boys behind us that we're gonna give a quick spin, show you guys what it's like to experience these kind of cars, and just pretty much showcase the Huracan Performante and the Ferrari 458 Italia on Beemer Fam. First of all, I want to give a big thanks to the Evan family. They've been so kind to me as well. But we have the nice yellow, is probably one of my favorite Lambo colors. Suits the body well. Lift this up. Just keep that in mind. Alright, so right here we have the key to the 458. Probably one of my favorite keys of all time. We're going to do a quick walk around on the spec and see what the car has. Classic red on black guts. Carbon on the steering wheel. Carbon on the seats. Leather and Alcantara combination. White horse. Get in it real quick. This is definitely my favorite part about the car. We have this nice steering wheel right here with the F1 shift lights right here. Long paddles. This car comes equipped with everything you need to hit the track. And then down here we have very minimal buttons. This car comes equipped with not too much, which to me is a good thing. Nice room. One thing I noticed about this car is, yeah, it's a supercar, but it's very comfortable. I got picked up from the airport in this car. Had plenty of room, very comfortable. But then we move on to the speedometer right here. We have that classic yellow dials right there. Put the key in right here, and you just see how the Ferrari logo is just sitting everywhere. Pretty, pretty, pretty. We're probably gonna take this for a quick spin and show you guys what it's about. But we're gonna go walk around the back of the car. Got the iconic 3 exhaust tips right here. Singular Ferrari tail lights right there. And we have that nice diffuser right at the bottom. It's probably one of the best Ferraris you can get any age. But yeah, I guess the next thing to do, take it for a spin, see how it rides on the road. Just pretty much show you guys what 458 is like from a BMW driver's perspective. We are now in the 458, big dog. It's one of my dad's favorite cars. Shout out to my dad.
Let it warm up a little bit. We'll be on our way.
about some of the performance spec on this car. How much horsepower, kind of motor, transmission, all that jazz.
So the 458, I think the reason it's one of my favorites, your favorites, your dad's favorites, my dad's favorites. It's the last generation of the naturally aspirated mid-engine V8 from Ferrari. So I think that's pretty special. So that leads to good sound. You know, at the low end the power gets delivered. You're not waiting for turbos to spool or anything.
Right.
It's pretty much there when you want it. In terms of horsepower, don't remember exactly, probably in between 560 and 570, something thereabouts. To the rear wheels, this is a rear wheel drive car. Torque, I really don't recall. I mean, naturally aspirated, it's definitely hard to get a lot of torque, but I'm sure Ferrari thought of something. But as you can hear, it's doing pretty well. So obviously this car is a dual clutch. It has paddles. You can shift with the paddles or automatic. I'm doing automatic right now. The computer is brilliant. As you can see, it can aggressively downshift. It knows to hold the shift. I think the car revs about 9,000. So I mean, once it's a little warmer, you know, it'll climb up to those RPMs.
Yeah.
And then I guess a couple things about this car's particular spec. On the outside, you know, the classic red. We end up going with the silver wheels, yellow calipers. Surprisingly, the badges, you know, on the side of the car, those aren't stock from Ferrari. You actually have to pay for them.
Aren't they like a good amount of money too, or?
Yeah, 1,500, 2,000. I honestly, I don't remember. So we got the 458 right when it came out. My dad fell in love and we kind of just went after it. We are friendly with the dealer, so we kind of jumped on the list and took delivery pretty early. So that was kind of the exterior gist of it. Didn't go too gaudy with the carbon, which is controversial in my book. My dad didn't seem to care. And then when we, you know, compared to the Performante where everything's carbon, specifically forged carbon, it's kind of different. Yeah. These are the race seats, pretty comfortable, but definitely hold you in place. And this is the race steering wheel, which is cool. The shift lights, the shape, the carbon, the classic Ferrari. No matter what steering wheel you have, everything's on the steering wheel.
I thought it was interesting, the turn signals are also on the steering wheel too.
Yeah, it's two distinct buttons on the right side and the left side of the steering wheel. Lamborghini's a little different, we'll show you that later. When we pick up the car, 2011 maybe? 2011 or 2012. I'm not really remembering, but over 11,000 miles on the clock, it definitely gets some love, you know? Yeah. Which is important. Supercars shouldn't just sitting in the garage, you know? Scare that jogger a little bit with the ferocious roar of the V8. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I know other people probably pointed it out on YouTube, but the ergonomics of Ferrari. I mean, this car drives well, but it's also easy to drive. The visibility is very good for a supercar compared to maybe, you know, Lamborghini. But to get those crazy lines that Lamborghini has, you're definitely sacrificing some visibility. Versus this car, I mean, a lot of cabin space, right?
Yeah, plenty of space.
I'm about 6'2", there's still a good amount of height.
I'm about 6 foot. And you see this, like, this is plenty of room.
Yeah, versus, you know, the Performante, or like I've been in the new Ford GT where you're basically touching shoulders. It's not overly comfortable. I mean, those are all cool cars, but it's just something I think that's enjoyable about the Ferrari. You know, you can be comfortable. You can turn it down to sport mode. There's even a bumpy, or, you know, bumpy road mode if you want to call it, or just loosening the suspension. So I don't really believe in necessarily daily driving supercars, but I think this is pretty close to, you know, being daily drivable as it gets.
Yeah. And having a BMW, obviously he owns a M4.
Quick. What were you saying though?
Gotta
love the sound.
But yeah, so he owns a BMW M4. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you click the video up here somewhere in the bio. But yeah, what's it like driving this car from, you know, having driven your car? You know what I mean, the BMW.
I think the steering's more nimble. You're more connected to the road, and as I kind of spoke about earlier, my car is turboed, so the max power takes a little longer to kick in. I mean, this car is direct. I lay my foot down, the power comes. You know, in my car, I mean, you've been passenger, you know, so many miles now. You feel when I gas it, there's still, you know, that slight hesitation with the turbos before it's really, and then it really hits you. Versus this car, it's almost, I don't want to say linear because it's not quite linear. I mean, it's hard to get that, you know, with a petrol car, but it's pretty darn close. I think that's something I really enjoy about it.
There's some things you hate about it, if any.
I don't know if Ferrari offered an upgraded sound system, but we didn't really spec that, so for the sound system or the music, whatever, it's kind of trash, which is okay because I listen pretty much to the V8 anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. I'm trying to think, there really isn't too much else to complain about. I mean, another thing for Ferraris, it's not a big deal, it's more of a maintenance thing, is the batteries are notorious for dying, so like when this car isn't being driven, it's always getting trickle charged, which is fine, but just a bit of housekeeping. Versus the Performante, doesn't really get charged.
Doesn't need that?
No, not really. I don't know, maybe, you know, Lamborghinis, you know, are kind of Audis at this point. Maybe their tech's a little better when it comes to that. That's a huge difference. My car, I didn't end up, you know, doing the BMW carbon ceramics. I just did steel brakes. It's a daily driver.
Yeah.
The brakes, I mean, they stick. You're not moving. When you slam those brakes, you're gonna stop, which is something, you know, to appreciate. I haven't been on this car on track yet. My dad's tracked it a couple times, and you know, only good things. That's all I could say. Only good things, he said.
So this has some kind of valve system, so around a certain RPM, they open up?
Yeah, I believe you're right, because, I mean, you can hear when I kind of get on it. You kind of called it, it's not a drone, more of a hum.
Yeah, like, that's one thing I noticed when you picked me up from the airport, it's not a drone in here, the sound, like, volume, it's like a hum. I've never experienced anything like it. It's beautiful. I mean,
try to give them some sound. But yeah, this car is really cool sounding. I mean, maybe the only car better would be if, you know, you could get a Speciale. Those are a pretty penny now.
Yeah, they
limited. But otherwise, you know, if you're in the market for a mid-engine Ferrari and you're trying to think between a 488 and a 458, personally for me, it's no-brainer.
Yeah.
I really value naturally aspirated cars. I mean, every car, you know, my dad owns is naturally aspirated. My next car will be naturally aspirated once I can, you know, save up some money, and then I'm going to try to get a 911 GT3. Maybe wait for the 992 or get a 991.2. But anyway, so I think it's a pretty obvious choice for me to go with the 458. Plus, I think the taillights are superior. Just the little things, the door handles, the front. They kind of made the 488 more muscular, which I think kind of takes away from the design of the car. Pininfarina designed this car. Obviously, that's kind of why it's so amazing. Versus the 488 seems like, I don't know if it's a rush job because they had time to develop it, but they really, I don't know if they'd made the greatest decisions, personally speaking.
That's my GoPro.
What was that?
My GoPro's on the ground back there.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Did we lose it at the beginning of the video?
I guess. Dude, he just ran it over, bro.
No way.
He just ran it over.
No way.